Hi, I'm Suzanne Tomlinson with Kingsley Communications. I'm a content strategist and copywriter, so I write ads and website content, social media posts for small businesses and big businesses. Today, we're going to talk about how to interact with ads online, and for parents, how you can help your children have a more critical view of the ads that they encounter.
Suzanne, I'm so excited you're here today because advertising is everywhere and you're an expert because you write these ads for big companies. You copyright, you do all these things behind the scenes. You've got 3 tips, and for any students watching here today, we want to make you aware of everything that's going on behind the scenes. And for parents in the room as well, you already know what you're looking at, but we want to sharpen your skills a little bit more. So Suzanne, walk us through tip number 1. How can students and parents better recognize advertising?
I think the first thing is to really make sure that you all understand what advertising is, because advertisers have become very, very clever at disguising these ads. So sometimes you might be on a website and something might look like an article to you and it's actually an ad, or something might pop up and it's a really cool picture, might have some little moving characters, and it looks really interesting. So I'd say to be able to recognize what ads are, you have to look for little clues. Like, is it really related to what you intended on looking for? Is it something, different? Is there something about it that kind of looks different from the rest of the website or the app? And they can come in many different forms. So you might have something pop up. You might have a little video start playing. You could even hear some of the sounds from the ads. So all of these little clues, and oftentimes you can actually see a little X or the word close or something like sponsored content that will give it away, but that could be really, really tiny. So you have to be very careful. So you got to pay attention to what these, different banners are, or the pop-ups and those types of things, to make sure that you know where they are. And they pop up because of data that advertisers can put on websites to actually collect information. So you might think that, it's just magic that you were looking at a certain product online and then you go to another website and the ad pops up. And that's not by accident or magic or anything. It's very carefully planned by advertisers because they want you to buy your stuff. So helping kids understand that, that's why ads exist, because advertisers want our money, and children are among the most impressionable in our population, of course. So they are very, very easily persuaded, but then in turn, children could be master persuaders themselves and easily convince their parents. So there's billions of dollars that are spent toward ads for targeting for children every year, and then that results in billions of dollars in purchases by those children and their parents.
So you bring up a good point. Let's look around the actual advertisement or piece of content and see if there's a little X mark in the upper corner, if it says sponsored content, or maybe there's some Google ads, it has a little triangle and it says ads or info or something about that, so you can see who's sponsoring. And as many parents and students know, after you're reading a blog, there's all these ads below it that you can just start to, it's almost like a muscle where you start to get good, or a skill, you start to get really good at working out that skill, and you can see a mile away, that's an ad. It doesn't match everything else. It's not helpful. It's getting me to click on something, right?
Correct.
And I love some of the things that you said, some of the tips. Now, sometimes ads can take people to an unsafe website. What are some tips that you have on what would you tell students that we should or should not do?
Right. So that, again, don't feel compelled that just because something pops up, you definitely don't need to click on it. You want to be careful about where you click, because sometimes there's a border that you can, it's just really small, or it looks like it might be part of the web page. So really going for those targets like the clear X, or, like you said, the close button or something like that, trying to find those clear things, or even just click on the page you were already on, the main part of that page. Sometimes that will bring that to the forefront instead. But there's definitely some other ways that parents can, help their kids avoid it. And that is through different ad blockers you can get. And some of those are actually apps you install. Some of them are actually plugins for your browser. And then you can actually get some that are full browsers to replace whatever browser you're using. And those will prevent the actual ads from appearing. and really limit it. And of course, you can just limit the time online, because parents actually underestimate the amount of time kids spend online. Kids actually spend, studies have shown, twice as much time as we think that they're spending online. So limiting that time is going to limit the exposure.
Absolutely. These are some great tips. For everybody listening here today, you can click the links below to learn more about Suzanne. If you're a parent, we have an amazing free parent webinar every single week at smartsocial.com that teaches you a lot of the hidden parts of the apps that you need to know about to make sure that we bring everybody up to a foundational level of knowing the hidden parts of Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and everything else. If you're an educator, we have an incredible educator free webinar every week or so, and it's going to teach you the 7 safety tips that you need to know on your campus or during virtual learning so that you're keeping students and parents safe. It's a lot of information. We highlight some anti-bullying tips, some secret tips inside of Instagram that's going to help your counselors and therapists at your school to make sure that bullying is reduced. I've got some amazing tips that we've found on the web that we're going to give to you and make it easy and practical and tactical for you to understand and run with. Thousands of people have taken these free webinars. Please join us. Learn more at smartsocial.com. Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
For the rest of you, we'll see you on the next episode. As always, remember to keep it light, bright, and polite because your kids are watching. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Have a great day.